Hello again, everyone. This is Jim here. Welcome back to my channel. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, just dealing with life and living day by day, and not really been having the best luck at identifying good topics to put up on my channel here. But I've been wanting to say something for a while about, let's call it, I'm going to title it like mindset and coping. Basically, uh, kind of how my mindset has evolved and how it is helping me cope with life, and especially in terms of the crazy life we have now, the tumultuous things going on in 2020. Um, and so I thought it might be important to kind of make a video and kind of reflect how my mindset has evolved over the years, and in what I find different about my mindset now that helps me cope. So when I say mindset, I'm really talking about, your basic approach to life, how you deal with life. What are your goals? What are you focused on? Um, and what you think about. Do you spend your time thinking about what's happening today, or the future, or the past, or um, what are the main drivers of your day, of your thought process? Um, if I analyze myself, um, I can kind of, let's say, divide my life up into two time frames. Number one, before my awakening about 4 years ago, uh, and then let's say the post awakening. Uh, so most of my life, I would say, has been characterized by pursuit of things is a good way to put it. Things, career, uh, relationships, money, um, and not so much at all really on myself or my health. And that's kind of the key distinction right there. It's been an outward focus. It had been an outward focus on things, external things, and not so much inward looking. Uh, and that, if I had to assess my life, let's say, it resulted in, it wasn't very successful. Um, the several relationships that failed. I had reasonable success at a career, uh, but didn't always do so well on things, relationships, or dealing with money. And it kind of led to, some unhappiness and feeling of being kind of a failure, uh, which led me down to not caring about myself more, and bad habits and even addictive behaviors, in terms of eating or other things, that just unhealthy habits. Let's put it that way: unhealthy, addictive habits. Uh, and so it wasn't really leading me in any positive way, and I never even thought about it that way. I just pursued, um, things and external things, and I knew it wasn't going that well, but I didn't really ever have a good understanding of why. Um, Now, one thing I do want to say is, looking back, I don't have regrets. I don't want to come across as that I regret anything I did. I really don't. It just, I did the best I could, and we all do. And we're all different, and we make different decisions, but hopefully we evolve from it. And I think it took me going through everything I went through in order to lead me to, let's say, a big change, which happened about 4 years ago, and I started looking at things all differently. And that's the second half, maybe it'd be the second half of my life, but it's really the story that I've conveyed on this channel is when I started changing my diet and meal frequency, and wow, then suddenly my eyes became open. I was, let's say, red pilled, if you will. Started losing weight, started feeling good, started, being curious about why. And it's been a snowball ever since. It's been leading me on a journey. And in fact, I've referred to this time period in a couple ways. Let's say I've always referred to my weight loss journey or my weight loss mode, which is at the beginning. And then when I had achieved my goals for weight loss, I talked about maintenance and whatever maintenance is. That was my mindset, or has been my mindset. I had the weight loss mode and then maintenance mode. I guess the purpose today is just to say that, I've been thinking for some time in a little bit different structure. It's more of a holistic structure rather than just this weight loss mode followed by a maintenance mode. And really, I guess what I want to say is now I look at it now, trying to master life, master my best life on a daily basis. And I'm going to say I started doing that, at the time when I was awakened to the importance of food and diet and meal frequency. I started down that path, and so things started healing. When I started thinking about myself, I started thinking about the food I put in my mouth and how frequently I was eating, and that led into thinking about my health and fitness and self-discovery on in many ways, not only physically but mentally. So I guess fundamentally, the change in mindset is now primarily focused on myself first, taking care of myself first, looking inward, trying to become, a better version of myself day by day. Eating healthier food, incorporating exercise into my life, seeking out better, higher quality relationships with people, trying to help others, because that is a better motivating. These are a better motivating set of protocols than just mindlessly moving forward, pursuing things. So it's, I guess, generally what I can say is that now I try to focus on myself first, and by doing that, I'm better able to enjoy life. I feel I'm extending my life, and I'm better able to contribute to others or help them improve by being a better version of myself. And I guess how I'm doing that is just with a day-by-day approach, as opposed to thinking about, far off into the future or dwelling on the past. I just really focus on today. What am I going to do today to maintain my, maintain my progress moving forward? And it can be just a matter of repeating the habits, and that's what I do. I just take care of myself every day. Uh, I have very repetitive days. I keep eating the same way. I keep up with my exercise. Um, and I sort of have the philosophy of I can take care of my life best by just having one good day, one great day, and then repeating it over and over and over. And so it becomes more manageable when you just look at it on a day by day basis. But it's, again, looking inward and taking care of yourself first. I believe that's important. So rather than a specific time of weight loss or healing or different focuses, in this general way of looking at just taking care of yourself first, everything just sort of happens naturally from that. Everything just rolls on in terms of, if you focus on yourself, you're going to lose weight. You're probably going to improve your health. You're probably going to have a more a balanced, a calm approach to life, and that kind of leads into the idea of the coping, better able to cope with life, and that's sort of the second part of this is, I've thought a lot, in 2020 here, this has been a year to think about, all of us have had to think about coping with the tumultuous nature of the world now. And it's my feeling and observation that it's not easy, and a lot of people are struggling with it. I think people are struggling with their focusing, with maintaining their weight, maintaining their health, their mental health, their physical health. They're getting off track and sidetracked, and all kinds of bad outcomes are resulting from it. This is what I feel is going on. I mean, I have felt this year myself, some stress and some, let's say, some, depression about the state of things. I try to remain optimistic, and I do remain optimistic that things are going to work out and we're going to get past this. But I think without this focus on yourself first, it puts a real stress on, and so that's what ties these things together. Your mindset, and how your mindset can help you coping with the stresses of life. So this year in 2020, in addition to the normal stresses of life with your job and family and the normal stresses, we've had the additional, the virus pandemic to deal with, and the reaction to the pandemic, which is no one has really experienced before, in my opinion. This is all new, and it's, I think, very stressful on the population. People say, well, there's going to be a new normal. Yes, there is a change. There are changes that we're living through right now. I'm optimistic that we will be able to come through and go back to the old normal, because I think the old normal was there was nothing wrong with the old normal, and we don't need a new normal. I think the people really pushing to have a new normal have an agenda that isn't necessarily in our best interest. But I'm not going to go into further detail on that. I think people are using the situation to enact changes they wouldn't otherwise be able to do. But so I'm optimistic that we're going to go back to normal, and that's how I look at things. There's stress right now, and everything is totally not normal, but we should go back to normal, in my opinion. So what I've been doing for my personal coping with the situation is just really this focus on myself, focusing on things I can control. I can't control all events in the world, but I can control somewhat the things I do. And so focusing on myself, having some boundaries, to protect myself from the kind of madness going on in the world, is to set some boundaries. I have a boundary between my work life and my home life. I have a boundary in terms of the exposure to media, social media or television or wherever. If I have to put a boundary up on that, because it can be destructive and quite depressing, and can cause you stress to spend too much time in the media world, because again, there's good information out there, but there's also there's also an agenda in the media, and you spend too much time on it, and you really, I think, only add to your stress. So the idea is focus on yourself. This is my idea, and to have boundaries, to protect yourself, because you're not going to be able to move forward and to survive this and keep moving forward and have be a positive influence on others, and keep finding a better way, a better life, increase health for yourself, without just concentrating on the things that you can control. So it's like a type of compartmentalization. You kind of wall off the world a bit, so that you don't let it come in on you. You got to keep the external world a bit away from you, so that you have the space to breathe and to do your thing. Because if you let it come in too close, it's really destructive. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just maintaining my life. As far as I know, others may disagree, but I'm not sure that we might have another life. I think the life that I'm leading, it may be my only chance at life. So I'm looking at it that way. So I want to do the things to enhance and extend my life, to enjoy my life, and those are the things like eating well, getting rest, the things I mentioned time and again, taking care of yourself first, living in the now, having one good day after another, trying to avoid circumstances or people that you find bring you a negative energy, a negative mindset. You don't want to be dragged down, and that is that's one thing that that people are going to try to do, not intentionally, let's say, but a lot of people, their way of coping is to get real hyper and complain and cast fear and doubt. I mean, this is the thing that, in my opinion, I try to avoid because it drains my energy. Just dealing with that I find is a draining experience. So I try to gravitate towards people with a positive mindset and who are also trying to do positive things in their lives. Life, like I said, as far as I know, I just have this one life. I want to try to make it the best. I came to this realization kind of late in the game, but and like I said, I don't have regrets about how I lived in the past. I probably wasted a lot of time in that, but you know what? I'm going to make the best of the time I have left, and not let external factors influence my enjoyment of life as much as I can. I mean, there's certain things that are hard to deal with, or you get thrust upon you. You deal with it the best you can, but I'm trying to keep it at bay by this focus on myself, compartmentalization, and with a positive approach. And part of that focusing on yourself, when I say that, I mean not settling for what everyone else is doing. The people that I mentioned that maybe have a lot of negativity and a lot of complaining, and they want to, they want you possibly to participate in destructive habits, destructive eating habits, or just going down the same path with them. Don't settle for less. Don't settle for the idea that, well, what the hell, everything's messed up. I'm just going to let go and go for the bad food or the bad lifestyle or the destructive kind of lifestyle. Don't give up on yourself, because there's really no end game in that. It's, often it will be mentioned that, hey, you gotta live a little, you gotta enjoy life, as a reasoning in order to do destructive things or participate in destructive activities. I just flatly disagree with that. You don't need to do those destructive things to enjoy life. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think you enjoy life more by not doing them, because there's always consequences to it. I find myself enjoying my life more by not settling for less than whatever gives me the best chance of being the best version of myself. So I don't, I've talked about this before as my mindset on splurges or celebrations, or doing this or that. Speaking of it in a dietary sense, having I've kind of stopped drinking any alcohol, and I never was a big drinker, but I just now I consider myself a non-drinker. I don't drink at all, and I'm fine with that. It didn't add anything to my life. It didn't make enjoyable anything. In fact, it was only a negative whenever I did that. So it's just realizing that this adds nothing to my life, so I'm going to cut it out. I to the point where I kind of know what works for me and what doesn't, and I'm just have no patience to go down the path that led to kind of the failures in the past, and I want to stay on the path of being a better version of myself each day, to some extent, if possible, and so that's the message don't settle for what the crowd is doing. Uh, it's not mandatory uh, to settle in order to enjoy life. So that was my main message. It was just the idea of mindset and in having a mindset that will allow you to cope with the world, and that I think I'm trying to improve on that, and that my mindset has changed from one of like I said, weight loss. It wasn't really that I changed to a weight loss mode. Okay, I had changed my habits, and it led to weight loss as an outcome. Um, but then I got into maintenance mode, and it wasn't like that was a whole different mode or whatever. It's all about, I'm seeing the whole thing. Everything is just about living your best life, and doing the things that lead to that. And that could be different for everyone. It doesn't mean it's going to be the same things for everyone. For me, that means, again, to repeat, focusing on the food I eat, uh, not settling, maintaining my fitness, maintaining a positive attitude, having boundaries, not letting the craziness of the world infringe on your life so much that you have constant stress. You have to have some sanctuary, some room where you're just keeping the world at bay, and focusing on yourself, and having a safe space in order to take care of yourself. And that's what I urge everyone to do. Take care of yourselves. And then many other things will take care of themselves if you take care of yourself. It's like I said, your weight loss, your health, and cut out the negativity in your life. That's what I'm trying to do. Associate with people with similar goals to mine, and yeah, it's working for me. And just to end on a bit of an update about what I've been doing, pretty much same old with me. I did a lot of experiments with different food in the beginning of the year. I was adding things like fish and eggs and some berries and some yogurt, and I kind of changed it up on my diet. For the past several months, I've been kind of going backwards in the reverse process. I gave up the fish. I've since given up the berries, the yogurt, and I still have some eggs in my diet, but I'm basically now just really just beef and eggs and butter, and some pork rinds, water and coffee for beverages. Yeah, I'm not really been doing anything daring with the food, or really any kind of experimentation lately. Um, with the onset of fall and winter, I did purchase a treadmill that I can use here in the home, rather than going out and going to the gym where the machines are that I normally go to. That whole situation is all different now, and I find it a little stressful with all of the different requirements in order to go into a public place. I find it stressful and it kind of depressing. So I made a decision to give myself a treadmill, and that's working out quite nice. And it's going to open up some possibilities for me where I can do some different types of exercises over the winter, and maintain probably better than I ever have before, maintain my fitness throughout the winter. So that's where I'm at. Still maintaining well. No big changes. Largely a meat-centric diet. Other than coffee or yes, sometimes some 2 pieces of chocolate. Other than that, just meat and eggs, and that works for me. That keeps me stable. I've improved my fitness throughout this year, and yeah, I'm just going to keep on with the daily pursuit of being a better version of myself. And I'm not doing that. I'm not beating myself up, trying to make myself a better version of myself. It's just making a small incremental progress each day, or even just maintaining. For me, moving forward mainly means not moving backwards, because let's say as you age, the tendency is to move backwards. You lose a little bit as you age. You give way. You gain a little weight. Your body ages, and maybe you're losing muscle. So just preserving what you have, for me, is moving forward, because if I can add muscle and I can add fitness and improve myself, that's great. But I know it's kind of impossible to do that forever. Time will catch up, but as time goes on, I'm always just thinking to have the mindset of being the best version of myself I can. And so, in 10 or 20 years, be different circumstances, but I'm still going to have that mindset, I hope, and to be the best version of myself, and to keep moving forward, and to not settle for less than what I feel is important for me, for less than what makes me the best version of myself. So that's today's talk. I just wanted to share some thoughts. I hope there's some benefit to that. I wasn't sure how to present these ideas about coping, and so I hope this made some sense. And that's the reason I have the channel, is to what I can do to help other people. I get a lot of that from this channel, and the comments that I get on this channel. Whenever people come in and say, they were inspired, or and change their life based on viewing my videos, I feel in some small way that I've been a positive impact on somebody, and that's a satisfying thing for me. And that's this channel, I'm going to say, is one of my main avenues for reaching out or being positive influence on others. It's not the only one. I want to be a positive influence in my personal life as well, in my interaction with people. But this channel is a big part of it as well. So I hope to continue doing that down the road. So I wish everyone the best. I hope you're having success at being the best version of yourself, and in improving in whatever way you've set out to. And yeah, and I hope life is treating you well, and that you're coping as best you can. So until next time, I'm going to sign off for today, and say take care, everyone. Goodbye now.